Ho mio shedeleo sirielebe shakandelebe sirielabiosa. Come and anoint my home, God. Ah, ho neo sirielabiosa, baba baba sirielabiosa. Shedelebe sirielabiosa, baba baba sirielabiosa. He showed me, shalalalaladio siriebo, God. God save now. Turn, son. Senelebe sirielabosa. Shendelebe sirielabosa. God, Sam, God, God, touch him now, touch his shoulders, God. He showed me, I just feel, sometimes, um, God is concerned, he concerned, about marriages. The reason he concerned, he showed me. The reason he's concerned about marriages, and he's concerned because two cannot walk together except they be agreed. And some marriages, the partners are not yielded to God. Some marriages are more like traps because a marriage is supposed to enhance you. A marriage is not supposed to destroy you. Sola bakasakara bohusha. He showed me God is not going to send you a partner that is going to be cheating all like behind Satan cheating on you. God will not send you a partner that is living a double life. Sometimes marriages are merely acts of convenience, where people are just using people. There's no real love. Oh, la basidi la bohosha. There's no real love there. And the reason God is upset, oh God, I hear, because God is concerned about the children. Sola bakasakara bohosha, God, I hear, anything between consenting adults is one thing, but when children are being molested, God is not pleased at all, because a child, is not born with any kind of sexual feeling, not really. And if an adult robs a child of his innocence, God is not pleased. So I was just thinking about that, and I was just, just asking the Lord, because the Lord want to make the crooked things straight. When we go to God, we want to have achieved the purpose that God designed us to achieve. And see, God will go all the way back to your conception, and He'll explain to you, why some mothers can't bond with their children because they had no love for the father. They just, sometimes people get together with folk out of spite. Oh, Labasili, I see now, God, I hear you reach me. Come and anoint my surroundings. So sometimes, God always desire truth in the inward part and in the hidden part. And in the inward part, He'll make us to know wisdom. So, we just need to be repentant. Because the Spirit of God, when the Spirit of God come, the Spirit of God began to purge its flow. And that means it search out everything. People be saying, well, why you say that? And don't say that, because people hold the truth in lies. People in pulpits, and ain't no more delivered than the man in the moon. But the enemy let them be in a pulpit because he want to pervert whole generations. He wanted Ela Basidi Alabohusha. He showed me he want to destroy whole generations. And some of these uh ministers are so caught up in their own personalities. God, I hear, they want people to worship them. They want people to esteem them. And how many of them in the closet, got double lives, and people be looking up to the son of the Most High. Oh, people be actually worshiping them, but then when you examine them, they're not even delivered. Son of the Bokushiti, he showed me. So as I was thinking on those things, the Lord spoke. Psalm 20, it said, May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and regard with favor your burnt sacrifices. May he grant you your heart's desire. He show me and fulfill all your plans. May we shout for joy over your salvation. And in your city, God cry. And in the name of our God, set up our banners. May the Lord fulfill all your petitions. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fall, but we rise and stand upright. O Lord, save the King. May he answer us when we call. So we want the Lord to answer us. We want the Lord to answer us. We want Labakasakarabohoshaga. Shalalalalalalalala. I see now, God, I hear, because you think about John the Baptist, how he was the forerunner of Jesus Christ. And, when he saw people coming to get baptized, he said, "Ye generation of vipers, who labakasakarabohoshaga. I hear, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come. Bring ye therefore fruits worthy of repentance." God is just concerned. God is sola bakasakara bohoshagar. She is Sarah Sedediosa. Sedediosiriala bohosha. I see God. Because see the enemy's plot is to abort. If God called you to be a prophetess or God called you to be saved, then the husband that God will give you is not going to destroy you. He's not going to, sit on your dream. He's not going to oppress you. And that's how you know God didn't send some of these folks. He didn't. He just really did not. He didn't. You're in a marriage and you've been through molestation and that person can't help you, get delivered and whatever, they bring in more spirits and more baggage and more junk. That's not a God. That's not a God. And it take more than going to church to make you a Christian. You're not a Christian just for God. It's just like you can be in a garage and that don't make you a car. God looking for folk to worship him in spirit and in truth, and it's just like God just when you get the Holy Ghost for real, he'll examine you. He'll see the little sound. He will examine you. Some of these marriages just God ain't pleased with them. He's just not, because the children can't see God for looking at all the dysfunction of the couples. Because see, a real man is gonna see God. It's not a real, we got it mixed up in our culture and stuff. We feel like a man is not a man unless he got 4 or 5 women. That is so foolish. That is just so foolish. Because a real man won't love more than one woman, and stuff. That's a whoremonger. That's God show me that's an adulterer. And then you have people just caught up so much in witchcraft they don't even know who they are. They just being manipulated. Son of the Most High God, I hear they being manipulated, and God is not pleased with this stuff. And these folk upholding these folk, you know what I'm saying? And oh my God, it's just a mess. It is a mess. But I know God want to straighten things out. That's what He came. He came to make the crooked places straight. So I'm going to leave with Isaiah 53. Who has believed what he has heard from us? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. Hila basakara bohoshaga. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and as one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised and we esteemed him not. So when you are really seeking God, that's why the Bible say, woe to the man that everybody speak well of, because even our master was despised because he was afflicted. And you got people that will persecute afflictions. And that lets you know they're not a God. They're not a God. They're trying to be popular. Oh God, show me they misleading people. He showed me all they're concerned about is what they look like. They'll take anybody else's husband and just put them in their mess. And it just, oh my God. God just is not pleased. He is not pleased at all. He's not pleased. But anyway, it says, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. God, I hear. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like a sheep that before his shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, stricken for the transgressions of my people? And they made his grave with the wicked, and with a rich man in his death, although he had done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief when his soul makes an offering for guilt. He shall see his offspring. He shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul, he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make it righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore, I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death and was numbered with the transgressors. He bore the sin of many and makes intercession for the transgressors. We just thank the Lord, because if we want to be like Jesus, Jesus, poured out his soul. He gave his life for those of us, who were born in sin, who were conceived in iniquity, because we all were. We got to have a personal relationship with God. We can't just say because we go to church, especially a church that's not founded, you know, on what God taught. I mean, because people, that's why God says that if any man desire the office of a bishop, you know, he got to be the husband of one wife, and he can't be greedy or filthy lucre, because people are greedy or filthy lucre. That's why they can only preach certain things. They don't preach messages that convict people. They just preach feel good messages. That, oh God, I hear, they just act like God is just something to play with, like God doesn't see, what's going on. People don't fear God. They all are behind Satan, because if they fear God, they will live right. Because the eye of the Lord is in every place. Bila bakasakara bohoshaga. Behold, my next today, be siriala bohoshaga. He showed me beholding the good and the evil. And God is concerned about these little children. These little children are crying from abuse. Ula basilia siriala bohosha. Acting out, because of abuse. God is not pleased. God is not pleased. Oh God, we better start praying. Oh,